Today's perfect pop star is Kimberley Walsh from Girls Aloud. Let the probing commence. Ah yes, Kimberley Jane Walsh from Girls Aloud. You are 1/5 of the world's greatest pop music group. And in the year 2005, you had a school bus named after you, which I'm imagining makes you probably the most famous girl aloud, n'est-ce pas? But what, Kimberley Walsh? What was the first single you ever bought?
The first single I ever bought was Kim Appleby, Don't Worry.
Don't you cry, you'll get by, you'll be back on your feet. In no time, you'll be fine, don't worry.
Do you remember that? Of course you do. Some of the other girls don't, which does make me show my age, but yeah, no, it was kind of around the whole Kylie and Jason time, but that was the actual first single that I ever bought, and I played it to its death.
Hey, Kimberley Walsh from Girls Aloud. You have a famously potty mouth. Sorry, I've read that incorrectly. You have a famously pouty mouth and very versatile hair. As a result, many people the world over have a crush on you, yes? But what we want to know, Kimberley Walsh, is who was your first crush? Please open up and reveal all.
I did actually used to really fancy Jason Donovan. And I mean, you know, obsessed like me and my sister had. We had the Kylie and Jason posters, which is the kind of weird thing, like, even though he was sort of with her, I still really fancied him. I mean, I suppose I can see why now, looking back, thinking about the age that I was at, but I've got to say, it's not really doing it for me these days. Don't think he's actually turned out to be my type at all.
Pop music fans around the world admire you, Kimberley Walsh. You are, after all, a member of the wonderful Girls Aloud, and rather ravishing to boot. But Kimberley Walsh of Girls Aloud, we want to discover who you admire. They must be pretty special, yes?
There's a lot of people that in music that I do really admire, but probably for me, it's Beyonce. Just, well, for a lot of reasons really, because she's such an amazing singer and performer, and she writes, she produces, she's managed to kind of cross over into acting and succeed at that. I just think that everything she does, she puts a heart and soul into it, and I just admire how talented she is.
Pop music and the fashion catwalk are strange bedfellows, are they not, Kimberley Walsh from Girls Aloud? And yet somehow you managed to combine pop genius with disco dresses to a dazzling effect. But who do you consider to be a fashion icon, Kimberley Walsh? Please speak now.
I like people that dare to be a bit different, so like Gwen Stefani.
I know we're cool.
You know, people that will kind of just put themselves out there, and because they kind of pull it off, you kind of think, yeah, that does actually look good, where you might never have dreamt of wearing something like that.
I know we're cool.
It's always nice if people come with something completely new and set a trend, because, you know, that's what people want to see. That's what young girls, you know, looking up to pop stars and stuff, that's what they want. They want a bit of guidance, like what should we wear now, and, you know, what should we be wearing next week. So I think, even for us, I think we're always looking for inspiration.
It was with a heavy heart, Kimberley Walsh from Girls Aloud, that we discovered you have a semi-famous gentleman suitor. That said, is there anyone else in the world of pop that you find sensual and eye-catching? Don't worry, it'll be our little secret.
Actually, Justin coming back this time, I'm quite feeling it.
I'm bringing sexy back.
I don't know what it is. It's like, he's almost gone away for long enough that he's come back, and I'm like really like thinking, yeah, you are really, really good. And you know, he's quite cool, and he doesn't take himself too seriously at all. And when I watch him perform, I do think he is quite sexy, to be honest.
The pop music can sometimes be somewhat cutthroat, and as the young folks say, bitchy. Can it not, Kimberley Walsh from Girls Aloud? Although you are so lovely, and may I say, sweetly pretty, have you ever found yourself enjoying beef with another artiste? Well, have you?
I think there was one argument in the press where it said that I had said something nasty about Westlife, said something like they were boring or whatever.
We could be more than just amazing.
it was one of those interviews where I was only stating a fact and it got took out of context, and they bit back and kind of, you know, put an argument across. And I just think, don't ever bite, because it's hardly, like 9 times out of 10 the person hasn't said anything, you know, in a nasty way. That's how all the arguments we've ever been involved in have started, by somebody just taking something out of context and blowing it up because they want you to argue. So it's best if you don't, because you never really know the truth unless you've heard them say it themselves.